Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. In a world where truth is often obscured by silence, one courageous individual dares to speak out. The untold story of Menglong's tragic end has shocked millions, but today we reveal the shocking truths that have remained hidden for far too long. A close friend of Menglong breaks their silence to expose the dark secrets behind the actor's untimely demise. Stay tuned. This is a story you won't want to miss. Menglong was never just a rising star in China's entertainment industry. He was a man whose quiet integrity spoke louder than fame itself. Those who knew him remember not the glitter of red carpets, but the warmth of his presence, the sincerity that filled every room he entered. From the very beginning, you stood apart from the culture of vanity that surrounded him. He was humble, disciplined, and driven by an inner fire to create something meaningful through his art. He often said that acting was not about performance, but about honesty, about living truthfully, even when the world preferred a lie. That belief guided him through years of struggle, from his modest beginnings to the height of recognition, and yet it may also have been the very reason his life was taken so soon. His friends recall him as a man of calm strength. He rarely complained, even when work exhausted him or when the industry's politics weighed on his shoulders. Behind his gentle eyes was an artist constantly seeking authenticity in a world built on pretense. He often carried a camera wherever he went, capturing fleeting moments of beauty. A stray cat in the alley, an old man smiling by a fruit stall, a reflection of sunlight on a rainy window. Those images revealed how you saw the world. Fragile, imperfect, but still worth loving. In his private notes he once wrote, "Even when people turn cruel, I must remain kind. Kindness is my only rebellion." That sentence would later haunt those who read it, because it foreshadowed the quiet tragedy of a man too gentle for the world he lived in. Colleagues said you treated everyone with respect, the crew, the makeup artists, the fans waiting outside in the cold. He thanked each of them personally, believing that gratitude was a form of art. Yet behind that kindness he carried a heavy loneliness. The deeper he entered the world of fame, the more he realized how easily light could turn into shadow. Still, he refused to harden his heart. His laughter, though rare, was sincere. His words, though few, always comforting. To the end, Menglong remained the same, humble, kind, and unyielding in his belief that truth, no matter how painful, was still beautiful. His life was not defined by the fame he achieved, but by the grace and courage with which he chose to live it. Behind every spotlight that once illuminated Menglong's face, there was a shadow, a silent, creeping darkness that few dared to acknowledge. The entertainment world he entered with such innocence was not merely about art and passion. It was a stage where power, corruption, and control dictated who could rise and who would fall. Beneath the glamorous facades and carefully curated images, an invisible web of influence stretched across the industry, binding artists to forces far beyond their understanding. Menglong, with his pure heart and unyielding honesty, unknowingly stepped into that web. His refusal to conform, to bow to manipulation or compromise his values, marked him as different. And in a world driven by obedience, difference was dangerous. His friend Oduong would later say that you had begun to sense the sinister undercurrents long before his final days. There were whispers, subtle warnings, unexpected calls, faces he no longer trusted. He had been advised to distance himself from certain organizations, particularly those tied to political power. But you, ever the idealist, believed that goodness could outshine evil, that truth could prevail without confrontation. He underestimated how far those in control would go to silence a voice that refused to obey. As his career grew, so did the scrutiny. Contracts were altered, projects mysteriously cancelled, and his personal life slowly invaded. Each step forward felt heavier, each success tinged with unease, as if someone unseen was pulling invisible strings. Those who tried to protect him recall the fear that lingered in every conversation, the sense that they were being watched, recorded, perhaps even hunted. Within this system, fame was not a reward but a leash, and Yu Menglong was beginning to break free of it. That frightened people whose power depended on silence. There were meetings he declined, parties he refused to attend, and offers he turned down, unaware that every rejection added another mark against his name. By the time he realized the depth of the darkness surrounding him, escape was no longer possible. The tragedy of Yu Menglong lies not only in his death but in what it symbolized. A battle between light and power, between an honest soul and a machine built to consume. His fall was not simply an accident of fate, but the consequence of a quiet rebellion against those who could not bear the truth he embodied. Not long after Yu Menglong's death, his mentor, Mr. Tun Duc Vin, began to experience dreams so vivid that they felt more like memories than imagination. He would wake in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, the sound of Yu's trembling voice still echoing in his ears. In those dreams Yu did not appear as a ghost or a shadow, but as the same gentle student he had once known. Dressed simply, eyes full of sorrow, speaking in a tone that mixed calmness with unbearable pain. He told his teacher that darkness had consumed the land, and that the people were blinded by fear. His final plea was hauntingly clear. Remember these 2 words, 3 withdrawals. It was not a phrase of superstition, but a symbolic message urging humanity to detach from the chains of corruption and deception. For Mr. Vin, the dream felt less like a visitation from the dead and more like a calling. A cry for help from a soul that had not yet found peace. He understood that Yu's message was not meant for him alone, but for a society that had lost its moral compass. The 3 withdrawals, long associated with renouncing ties to oppressive systems, represented the spiritual liberation Yu had sought in life but never achieved. When Mr. Vin spoke publicly about the dream, he did so not to invite belief in the supernatural, but to remind others that conscience is a force stronger than fear. Yet his courage came at a cost. Days later he received anonymous messages, short, cold, and unmistakably threatening. "Stop talking," one said. Another read, "You will join him soon." The fear that followed was suffocating, but the teacher refused to stay silent. He organized a small prayer ceremony, lighting incense beneath a pale dawn sky, whispering a promise that Yu's soul would not be forgotten. Those who attended described a strange stillness that settled over the gathering, as though the air itself was listening. In that moment, the boundary between life and death felt fragile, and the message from Yu's spirit, to stand for truth even in the face of danger, resonated more powerfully than ever. Perhaps the dream was not a haunting at all, but a gift. A reminder that even after death, the voice of conscience continues to speak, urging the living to choose courage over silence. The death of Yu Menglong wasn't just a personal loss. It became a symbol of the broader system of fear and oppression. After publicly supporting Yu and speaking out about his death, Mr. Tun Duc Vin was targeted by the same forces that silenced Yu. Death threats came flooding in, and the chilling message was clear. Stay silent or suffer the consequences. This chilling sequence of events is a stark reminder of the risks faced by those who dare to speak the truth in a society where fear reigns. But why is silence so powerful? Why do so many choose to remain quiet, even when they know the truth? This is the harsh reality of living under an oppressive regime that seeks to control every aspect of life. In the face of such darkness, the courage of a few individuals shines bright. Ho Xie, a fellow actor who stood by Yu Menglong, also received threats but refused to back down. His bravery inspired others to join in the fight for justice. The tide was turning, more and more people were willing to speak out. This is a story not just about one man's death, but about the power of courage and the fight for justice. The tragedy of Yu Menglong's passing highlights the importance of standing up, even when the odds seem insurmountable. This is a call to action for us all. The battle between good and evil is not won in silence, but in the courage to speak the truth, no matter the cost. The truth about Yu Menglong is not just his own story. It's a story that resonates with millions. In China and around the world, many individuals are fighting for their freedom from oppression, fear, and the darkness that seeks to silence them. The lessons we learn from Yu Menglong's life are ones of resilience, courage, and the need to continue the fight for justice. Let his death be a reminder to us all. If only one person dares to speak, the darkness will crack. When many speak, justice will begin to take form. This is the power of kindness, courage, and truth. If you found this story moving and insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to UdateX24H for more updates on the ongoing fight for truth and justice. Your voice matters. Together we can make a difference. Thank you for joining us today, and remember to stay courageous, stay informed, and keep fighting for what's right. We will see you in the next video.